Hey guys, thanks for checking out Scare Talk. But before we get to all the horror goodness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the platform that we use to upload our podcasts. Anchor distributes the podcast to Apple, Google, Spotify. It's free. It's super easy to do. You can record, you can edit straight on their website, anchor.fm, or you can download the mobile app and do a lot of the same. You can make money with no minimum listenership. Yeah, get out there, man. Start making a podcast.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
All right. This is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm on the phone again with my co-host, Joel.
Hey guys, what's up?
We are again practicing the social distancing to save the world.
Exactly.
But we still need to talk about horror.
You can call us superheroes,
we're doing the work of the Lord right now.
Exactly.
So we have to bring you some horror movie podcasts.
What the Lord wants us to do.
Yes, exactly. So today we're going to talk about our top 10 of the second decade of the millennia, 2010 to 2019.
Yep.
So let's just jump right into it. Joel.
It'll be a fun one.
Yeah. Joel,
so
what's your...
my number...
Wait. What's your number 8?
My number 8?
Okay, I'm just kidding. What's your number 10?
Are we like jumping around?
I just wanted to throw you off. What's your number 10?
Oh, okay. My number 10 is actually 2 movies put together. It was It Parts 1 and 2.
Whoa, you're breaking the rules here.
Well, I mean, it's technically one story. So.
Alright, I don't know.
It's from one book.
Okay. Well, you know what? My number 10 is the whole Conjuring universe.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Cheating.
I'm just kidding. Okay, no, yeah, I think they go together pretty well, so.
Yeah. I mean, It Part 1 they can be separate, but as a full story itself,
Yeah.
you can put them together for sure.
Yeah.
And without having It Chapter 2, I probably would have put It Chapter 1 a little higher on my list.
Oh, okay.
But It Chapter 1 kind of brought it down a little bit. Still enjoyable, but I just thought the CGI in Part 2 was just bad for most of the movie.
Too much.
It was too much, yeah. And they had a bigger budget for part 2, which it showed in the CGI.
Yeah.
They just threw everything into that, which I would have been happier with if they had backed off on that a little bit. But it's as a story itself, it's still a really good story.
Yeah.
So,
it is a good story. Very very character-driven story, which is cool.
it is, yeah.
All right. So my number 10 is The Autopsy of Jane Doe from 2016.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
So this one's on Netflix. I don't think it went to theaters. It has no big name actors. I've never seen basically the 2 main actors that are in this movie. Never seen them before. The cast is pretty small. Most of the movie takes place in an autopsy room during an autopsy.
Of Jane Doe?
Of Jane Doe, yeah. And that's her real name.
Crazy.
No, there's like this, not massacre, but there's like a few people were killed in their home. And then in the basement, they find that this woman, the Jane Doe, was like buried in the basement. And so they do an autopsy on her and find a lot of mysterious things.
Oh, man.
So
yeah, it's been. I think you said it came out in 2016.
Yeah.
I think I probably watched it in 2017. I think I do kind of remember this movie.
Yeah.
A little bit, but yeah, I think I kind of want to check it out again at some point.
Yeah, check it out again.
So,
it's incredible.
It might make my list if I did. You know, who knows?
Who knows?
Rewatch it again.
What do you have on number 9?
All right, my number 9 is going to be Sinister.
Oh yeah,
2012.
Okay.
It was just it's been a little while since I've seen it, so I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I just remember it's part of it is like documentary style. Ethan Hawke is the main character, and him and his family moved to this old house in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Of course. The old horror cliche. Where he finds a bunch of tapes.
Oh.
And he puts them in, starts watching them, and I think he's a writer. I'm pretty sure.
He's there, from what I remember, to like investigate disappearance or something. Mm-hmm. He's like an investigative journalist. So he goes to the town, or to the house, I think. They move into the house where this person lived who disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, so. I think that's right. And I don't think he told his wife that at all.
Yeah.
She finds out later on in the movie.
Yeah, she was very, very enraged.
As any person would, probably, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he finds these tapes, he starts watching them, and they're just of murders that have happened, not necessarily in that house, because I think one of them actually takes place here in our hometown.
Yeah.
So it's definitely they're just of murders happening all over the country.
Yeah.
Basically. And I think at least one of them was in that house, on the tapes, but yeah, that was just a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good one. I feel like it's a little overrated personally. I feel like in the podcasts and videos and YouTube stuff that I've watched, people really regard that so highly, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it was average.
It was pretty basic.
Yeah, it's kind of average, but I don't know, man, I'm missing something. A lot of people like it.
I mean, I saw it in theaters, so I mean that may have helped it a little bit.
Right.
As far as, making it quote unquote more scary or creepier.
Yeah. Well, let's get into my number 9 because mine is way better. We got Terrifier from 2016.
Oh, okay. It's a good one.
It's an incredible movie about just this misunderstood clown.
That poor art clown.
Yeah. One of my definitely more recent horror villains, like one of my favorite for the current times.
He's definitely a standout for sure.
Yeah. And he's just he's a monster. And so,
a misunderstood monster. Yeah.
If it wasn't for him and his the way his character was acted and just his mannerisms and the way he kind of carried himself and the brutality, it wouldn't be that good, because on the surface it's not really that good of a movie, but it is
because of him.
Yeah, because of him and just the stuff that he does, just so crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, every time it showed him on screen, I couldn't take my eyes off of the screen at all. It was just wondering what he's going to do next, especially in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Before
he really goes crazy, when he sees those two girls in the cafe,
right?
And he's staring at him and stuff. I'm like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, when they show him, you don't know what his face is going to look like, and because he's going to do something, or he's going to look a little different each time. And it's like, what's gonna happen now?
Yeah.
What kind of like pose is he gonna be in? And because he's like a mime.
Yeah.
So
He kind of looked like one, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, really, really cool movie. I just, well, not just, but over the last month or so, got a mask of Art the Clown.
Yeah.
Might have to.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've posted some pictures.
I think you posted a picture of it.
Yeah. It's an incredible mask.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah. So what do you have?
Are you going to turn into Art the Clown?
Yeah. No, I will.
Your Halloween costume?
Yeah, it's really tight though. Like, it's a little uncomfortable to wear for more than like 5 minutes. So, I don't know. I might just stick with Michael for a while.
Oh, okay. All right. My number 8, and I've only seen this movie once, and it was shortly after it came out. I need to rewatch these movies that are on my list.
Yeah, what the hell?
Is Hereditary.
Oh, yes. Incredible.
That was, it was a very good movie. And I think that it might go higher up on my list if I rewatched it, but it made my list, so that's, it was just a very well acted, very well written movie from the director that brought you Midsommar, so, all your movies can't be winners, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a very well made movie.
Toni Collette, she did awesome.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
I think we'll talk about that one a little bit more later.
A little later?
Yeah, a little bit later.
All right.
Okay, so my number 8 is Hell House, LLC. 2015. Have you seen this yet? I keep telling you to watch it, and you're not listening to me.
I know. I have not watched it yet, but I definitely will. I probably will actually tonight at some point.
All right. I will check in with you later.
Okay. I want to see it. I like those found footage type movies.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely one of my favorite found footagers. It's about a group of people, they're like in their 20s, as most horror movies casts are. But they're documenting their like a month or two leading up to them opening this Halloween haunted house attraction. And so it's their documentation of this. But at the beginning of the movie, you find out that the opening night was there was a lot of problems, we'll say, in the opening night. And there's an investigation going on. And so one of the pieces of evidence is their documentation. So the movie is like a documentary because it has interviews of different people, and then it has the stuff that they documented, and then it has kind of the police questioning one of the girls, and so it's kind of a lot of different things going on, but very, very smoothly put together. It flows very well.
Yeah.
And as far as the actual horror part of it, or the scariness, it's very simple, but very effective. Very good.
Nice.
It's incredible.
Lots of jump scares in that movie?
No, actually. No.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And usually, like,
a lot of footage movies have jump scares. So.
Yeah. No. I can't even think of any right now. And I've seen it a few times. It's just these these little things, and it helps because the stuff that they're putting together in the house is already creepy. So then when little things start happening within the house, then it's like even extra creepy, because it's already creepy just as it is. So yeah, it's good.
Nice.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. All right. Word of the day today is incredible.
right.
I really, I definitely will check that out at some point, probably tonight. So.
All right.
All right. My number 7 is going to be Insidious.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Insidious Chapter 1. That had like 3 or 4 sequels, and they're making another one. So.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the first 2 were really good. They're the only 2 that have the same, like, main characters.
Yeah.
After that, it's all pretty much just, like, different people. But the old lady that's in the first 2, she's the one that's kind of sticking around for the entire series. So,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just a very well made movie. Different, for sure. I don't, and that's why it's on my list. I like movies that are different.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, and this one, yeah, it's about a family who, again, moved to a house that's isolated in the middle of nowhere. I have a pattern here in my movies.
Yeah.
And one of the sons hits his head, like falls down a ladder, I think, and hits his head, and appears to be fine right away, and then goes to sleep and just does not wake up.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah. And then they're trying to figure out what's going on, and they, the main character, the male main character has a mom who is brought into the story at this point, saying that this used to happen to you.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing. And you go into like this place that's called the Further.
Yeah.
And it's very kind of like sci-fi a little bit at times, but it's a good movie.
Yeah.
And so he goes in after the son into the Further.
Yes, the Upside Down.
Yeah, it's the Upside Down before Stranger Things happens. So yeah, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, now that you're explaining it, I'm remembering it, because I remember liking it, but every time I like think of watching it, I see it on Netflix to watch, and I'm like, what is that about again? I can't remember. But now it's coming back to me. I used to get that one and The Conjuring mixed up. I used to get
because it has the same actor.
Yeah, because it has that same guy. So I would get them mixed up. And they weren't that far apart from each other as far as when they came out. At least like Insidious 2.
Yeah.
Or no, the first Insidious. What year was the first Insidious?
The first one came out in, I think, 2010, and Conjuring was, I think, 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
So just a couple years after.
Yeah. All right. My next one, so this will be number 7? Are we on 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are on 7.
The Invitation from 2015.
Oh, okay. That was a good one.
Yeah, this is a psychological horror, I would say. Psychological thriller, horror. It's on Netflix as well.
Choosing all these under the radar type movies.
Yeah, that's how I roll. They're incredible.
They are, yeah.
I can't even say it without laughing.
Someone count how many times we're saying incredible.
So it's like this guy who, and his girlfriend go to this dinner party that his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend is hosting, and it's basically a party to kind of try to get them to, well, I'm not going to give that much away. There's some discussion during the party, and the main character is kind of suspicious of what's going on, and so you don't know if he's just really paranoid. You kind of get to know his backstory a little bit, so then you think maybe he's kind of going crazy or too paranoid, or is he not? And so you're kind of in his mind the whole movie, and then you'll see what happens, and then it's just incredible.
Yeah, it is a good one. Isn't that one has a twist ending?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it does.
I would say. I mean,
I
don't know if I would say it's a twist ending, because you kind of know it's going to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
So it's not like out of nowhere, really. But It has a pretty, like, the very end has a cool shot overlooking, I want to say it's like the Hollywood Hills or like the Los Angeles Hills.
Okay.
Where you can see all these different homes.
Yeah.
And so I'll leave it at
it's
that.
Hollywood Hills, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good one. That's a solid choice.
Yes. Incredible choice.
Incredible, yes. Sorry, I can't use any other words besides incredible for this podcast. All right. My number 6 is going to be The Conjuring.
Okay. Very good.
Speaking of getting those two confused. Yeah, this was a very well-made ghost story. And very well acted and well directed. Very creepy.
Right.
I watched this one in theaters. And yeah, I definitely jumped a couple of times. So it was definitely a very well-made movie, for sure.
Yeah, it's good. It spawned a whole universe. So
It did.
I mean, when you make a universe, it's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. It seems to be the popular thing to do these days. But
yeah. I mean, imagine making a universe.
you're like God at that point, right?
Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Okay,
Exactly.
so my next one is a part of that universe.
Man,
So that is Annabelle Creation from 2017.
nice.
It's one of the scarier movies I've seen in a long time. I thought it just knocked my socks off.
Yeah, no, it was really good. It's hard to get that when because that's a sequel or a prequel to
Yeah.
the first Annabelle movie.
Yeah.
And it's very rare to get a sequel or prequel that's like a million times better than the original.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The first
Way
one.
better. Yeah.
So, yeah, that is definitely one of the best in the Conjuring universe, for sure.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
And you, it's not really about Annabelle so much. I mean,
No,
it
yeah,
is.
I mean, she's
but,
in it.
Yeah, but it's not.
But, yeah.
Yeah, it's so much more than that. So.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. And that's my niece's name. That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Annabelle. And she was
Wow.
born the same year that the first movie came out.
Oh, man. Better keep an eye on her.
They're not even horror fans. That wasn't even like something that was planned.
Even if you are horror fans, I don't know if you're going to name your kid Annabelle.
Yeah, no.
I just had a son. We'll name him Chucky. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. So that leaves me into my number 5, which is Annabelle Creation.
Oh, all right. Well, just keep talking about
Yeah.
it. So
All
your
right,
niece, do you call her Anna or Belle?
Usually call her Belle.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I've called her Annabelle. I mean, several times it's her name, but I usually will call her Belle.
Yeah. I'd have a hard time calling someone Annabelle.
It's just a lot. It's a
Well,
mouthful.
and it just reminds me of this doll. So
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It's incredible.
It is incredible. It's an incredible name. Just,
Okay.
But,
So yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
So, Annabelle Creation was, I think at one point I had this one below The Conjuring, but I decided to put it above it. It is, as much as I enjoy the first 2 Conjuring movies, Annabelle Creation I think it was part of the fact that it was a sequel to a really bad movie that kind of made it seem even better to me.
Yeah.
'Cause I had like no expectations going into this movie.
Yeah.
At all, based on the first Annabelle movie. So it had a couple of at least one character that I really hope they do a spin-off of.
Yeah.
That Scarecrow at the end of it. I want to see more of him.
Yeah. Me too.
He was pretty creepy. So And yeah, it was a very well made movie.
All right.
Very
All right,
good.
so my number 5 is Halloween 2018.
Oh man,
Yes. My good old buddy Mike comes back from,
Yes.
40
does.
years after
Yeah.
the original movie. You bring back Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen this. It was one of the biggest horror movies as far as, like, money, how much money it made last year. I want to say it was like number 2 behind It Chapter 2. Or not last year, the year
Well, this
before.
came out in 2018.
Yeah, the year before.
Yeah.
So it was probably number 1 in 2018. Made a lot of money. There's going to be 2 more movies now. And
There are.
so
Can't
we'll
wait.
see. Yeah, we'll see what this trilogy holds. And yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite Halloween movie, but it's a good one, and it's Halloween, so it's just I'm just
Yeah.
gonna like it. It's just
Unless it's Resurrection.
yeah, I still haven't been able to get through that one. I'm gonna have to buckle down and force myself.
It's definitely my least favorite of the entire series.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was definitely. This is like you're saying, not the best, but it's top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I'll give it that top 5.
All right, that leads me into my number 4, which is Halloween 2018.
Stop taking my movies. Well, actually, I guess I'm taking your movies.
Yeah, you are. Seeing Michael Myers again was.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen him since the Rob Zombie movies,
Yeah.
Halloween 2,
Yeah.
which, I mean, it's been 10 years, roughly,
Yeah. Yeah.
since we had a Halloween movie. So we were due,
Yeah.
for one. And I love the concept that it's a direct sequel to the first one.
Right.
Not like, not another sequel, but a direct sequel to that particular one.
Right.
So the one before Laurie finds out that her brother is Michael Myers.
Right.
That's not the case. It's possible that they could throw that on us on this next one, but I doubt that they will.
Yeah.
Just seems kind of like a storyline that you don't really need to do for this series. So, and I am definitely looking forward to the next 2 movies,
Yeah, me too.
which I heard were filmed back to back, but I'm not entirely sure.
That's what I heard too, which is not
They
usually
were.
a good sign, but
It's not usually,
yeah. So,
but
hoping for the best on those. This
Yeah.
version of Michael Myers, I feel like, is probably it rivals the first movie for me. Just his portrayal
he's
of
very
Michael.
intense.
Yeah. And the way he walks around, the way he kind of looks at you and stuff. Like, there's certain nuances to Michael Myers. It seems like such a basic character. You don't have to talk. All you do is walk. But
Yeah.
there's just certain things that he does and certain ways he kind of carries himself and walks and,
It's all about body language.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the majority of it, and he's been locked up for 40 years, so he comes out like pretty upset. So he's not too happy.
Yeah.
So, and it shows in his body language and
Right.
and the intense like kill scenes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of those like it's just like out of anger and rage, pretty
Right.
much.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he definitely did a really good job.
And I hope he comes back in this sequel just even crazier, because he
Yeah.
was pretty much burned alive.
Well, I mean,
so
now someone's trying to kill him, so
yeah,
so yeah, he's gonna be pretty upset. So yeah, I have theories on how I want the second one to end, but I highly doubt that Hollywood's gonna go that route. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it
yeah, me
for
too.
sure.
All right, my number 4 is fittingly Scream 4
Oh, nice.
from
Okay,
2011.
you did that intentionally, didn't you?
No, actually, I just noticed
Number
that.
4 will be Scream 4.
And number 3 will be Scream 3. No.
That will never be on a list of mine.
Scream 4, really good. Wes Craven, one of his final films. He bring back all the original cast that are still alive.
Yeah.
And they still live. Spoiler. And
yeah, I have issues with that, but okay, yeah.
Just really, all these movies have their own little cleverness and self-awareness, and this one definitely does that as well with capturing the whole social media and social media fame, and then also it kind of touches on remakes, which is cool as well. Remakes or reboots or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool because they're basically the killers trying to somewhat remake the original movie. So I thought that was pretty clever, pretty good. Has a really, really intense last 15 minutes or so when the reveal happens. And,
when the reveal happens.
Oh my gosh. I was laughing pretty hard. It was an incredible scene.
Yeah, that was an intense scene, and it gets pretty crazy.
Love it.
Oh man, yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah,
for sure. And I'm hoping that we get a Scream 5.
Yeah, we're supposed to.
Actual, they're talking about either a Scream 5 or a reboot, which I'm hoping they don't do the reboot.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard.
Instead.
Yeah, I've heard both.
Yeah. All right, so we're at our top 3 now.
Dun dun dun.
And my number 3 is going to be last year's Dr. Sleep.
Oh, the Sleepy Joe.
The Sleepy. That was my number 1 of last year in horror. And yeah, it is my number 3 of the decade. Okay. It is a very well done movie. I think I've had like 4 or 5 Stephen King movies on my list from the 2 decades.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was based on a novel that was made 40 years after The Shining was made. So it was made in 2010, 2011 when he wrote it, which is kind of strange that they would do that. That he would write a sequel to a novel that far into the. It just seemed kind of strange to me.
Yeah, that's a long time to write a follow-up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That'd be like writing the Bible, too.
Writing the Bible? It'll be a sequel to the Bible.
Yeah.
Thousands of years after the original. He does such a good job. What was his name? Mike Flanagan, the director, who, if you haven't seen his stuff, you really need to watch his stuff. I've enjoyed, I think, everything of his that I've seen, and I've seen probably pretty much everything that he's done so far.
Yeah, me too.
But, so the original Shining movie goes off course of the book in a big way.
Yeah.
So much so that Stephen King hated the movie. They just decided to do their own thing with it. And this movie does a really good job of bridging both. He connected not only the movie The Shining, but the book and also Dr. Sleep.
Right. He tries to make everybody happy.
Yeah, and he does a really good job with it.
Yeah.
So, because I think in the book, the hotel burns down at the end of it, if I'm not mistaken, which is not what happened in the movie, The Shining.
Right.
And there's a point in the movie, in Dr. Sleep, that he goes back to the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah. Which
should be burned down if you're going by the books.
Exactly.
So he did a really good job with making everybody happy with this movie, I think. So he's just a very talented guy.
Yes, he's incredible.
All the way around. Yeah, he is. So that is, and along with like the writing and the acting was incredible as well in this movie. I'm saying it. I'm using your word. But yeah, this is a really very well made movie.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it a lot. It was in my top. I want to say it was in my top 5 last year. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Okay, my number 3 is Creep 2014.
Okay. Yes.
It's an incredible creep fest. Mark Duplass does a great job being just as creepy as possible. Another, handheld camera type movie. I don't know if I want to call it.
Documentary type.
Yeah. Basically, the Mark Duplass character hires this guy to film him for, I think it's just for a day. And just the stuff that he wants him to film is just weird. And then the guy's kind of like, this is weird. And so then you see what happens from there. It's what he did a good job with, the Mark Duplass character, was he was doing creepy things, but he didn't think they were creepy. Like he was, it's just normal, yeah. So he did a really good job. Like, I don't know how you can hold a straight face doing the things he did and saying the things that he did. The things he did say. So, and then there was, a sequel, and we're supposed to get a third movie eventually.
We should be getting that at some point.
Yeah. So, hopefully we will.
Yeah. Yeah, you were talking to me about it, and you were saying that he doesn't have anything down because he doesn't want to do it unless it's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah,
which I can definitely respect. I can wait years for a movie if as long as they don't, rush through it, and I can be patient with movies and like TV shows and stuff as long as you take your time with it. Right.
Yeah, he said that
it was quality.
It's him and this other dude, the guy who was in the first movie. They do it together. And he had said that they had different things written, but it just wasn't good enough, he felt. So, just, don't want to force anything. So yeah, it's on hold awesome. For now.
Yeah. All right. And that's I'm okay with waiting.
Yeah.
As long as it's going to be quality instead of quantity.
Exactly.
All right. So I flip-flop on my top 2 quite a bit.
Okay.
I could go either way with either one of these titles here, but I'm going to go with what I have written down here. So my number 2 is Evil Dead.
Oh, yeah.
2013.
Okay. Nice one.
Yes. This was I'm still confused as to what you would label this one as. Is it a reboot? Is it a sequel? I think it's closer to a reboot than anything.
Yeah.
But there is kind of a Bruce Campbell cameo at the very end of it, so it kind of, I think that was meant to just throw everybody off.
Yeah, just for fun.
Yeah, just for fun, to be like, okay, I'm involved in this too. I think he did produce it.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was. I remember we saw this in theaters together. We had watched the original right before we went to the theaters to see this one.
Yeah. And
I still think the first one's creepier. This one's definitely more like violent and, and bloody. But if I'm comparing the two, then the original is definitely better than this one. But it's still for being a reboot, it still is a very good, very well made movie.
Yeah.
So
I liked it. It was. I remember it being better than I thought it would be. Because just the overall concept and like plot is pretty basic, and so you can make just your average horror movie with that plot. So just throw the Evil Dead title on it, you're gonna get people to want to watch it. And so,
Yeah.
it could have been just very mediocre. But instead, it was incredible.
Yeah. It was a very well-made, very incredible movie. For sure. And I think the director did Don't Breathe, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That was a good
So
one.
he's a good director.
All right. My number 2 is Hereditary from 2018.
Okay.
I
Definitely liked it more than I did.
Yeah. Honestly, I've only seen it once. But...
Mm-hmm.
And maybe because I went and saw Midsommar, which was not that good. And I was wondering, like, what is up with this director? Like, people are really praising him for Midsommar and Hereditary, and I hadn't seen Hereditary. So I was like, okay, I need to see if I'm just not getting this director, if it's just something that's just not for me, and see what this Hereditary is about. And so I watched it, and it's really, really incredible.
Yeah, it was very well made.
So
very good.
So dark, so just really good.
The director, I can kind of compare him to like a Wes Anderson in like the
Okay.
horror genre,
Okay.
where you either really like his movies or you don't.
Okay.
But with this guy so far, he's like 1 for 2. I think he's only done like 2 movies so far,
Yeah.
as far as like full feature film movies.
Yeah.
So he's kind of the artsy type, like Wes Anderson is.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. I see your comparison there.
My logic,
yeah.
my thinking.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So it really
logic.
depends on what type of movies he decides to do in the future. I'm sure he's going to stick with the artsy type horror genre
Yeah.
for the
And,
future.
and I guess you could even say Hereditary was kind of artsy with how the setting was, every like camera shot, every just
yeah,
I don't know, there was a certain feel to it the whole time.
yeah, it definitely was.
And I just didn't pick up on that with Midsommar. So but this one for sure had a very dark feel. And the last 10 minutes or so just really turned it up a notch. And it got pretty crazy.
Yeah, it did get pretty insane at the end there.
Yeah.
So, it made both for a top 10. I mean, like I said, I'd probably put it higher up if I watch it again. Which I own it, so I can watch it at any time. I just, haven't yet.
Alright, so you have to watch Hell House and Hereditary tonight.
Hereditary. We'll be done.
It shall be
By the time
done.
this goes out, I'll have watched both of those
Alright.
again. So yeah, it definitely is a really good movie. So, all right, and the number 1 movie, drum roll please. My number 1 is The Crazies.
Oh, that's crazy.
That is crazy. This one, I want to say it's another basic like zombie type movie, but there's definitely a layer than just that. It's definitely more than just a zombie movie. There's also, there's a lot going on in this movie.
Yeah.
That I really enjoyed it. The acting was very good. The writing was really good. Something that I've said quite a few times for these movies here. But the fact that it takes place in a small town, again, another thing that I have been saying quite a bit in my my movies here lately. But it takes place in a small town, and people start acting strange, and they start turning into zombies. They don't know what's going on with it, but they're not like I don't think they're the slow moving zombies. I think they're pretty quick,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, in this one, which is even creepier. It's even scarier than just like regular zombies. And you've got them to worry about, and you've got the military. The military gets involved and starts just like taking out pretty much everybody in this town. So you're your cast is, I think there's about 4 or 5 people that we're really paying attention to, and it's just about their survival, and it's just a really, really well made movie.
Yeah, I agree. I like that one a lot. A fun movie to watch. It's a ride.
It is, yeah.
Incredible.
It is incredible, and it's another one that has, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a depressing ending, but they definitely leave it open-ended for another one that they never even really. I don't think I heard like any even rumors about a sequel. So, which I'm kind of glad for. Actually, this was a good standalone movie.
Yeah, I wonder how well it did, revenue wise.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It came out in 2010. I'm trying to think if there's any like real big competition it had with it that year.
Yeah.
I think Insidious, but that's about it from what I mean, even the previews looked good. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed even, like, the previews for this movie.
Right.
What I remember from them. So, I'm not sure how much money it made opening weekend or anything. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it, too. I've seen it a number of times.
Mm-hmm. All right. Another one that we saw in theaters together.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 1 is just in a league of its own. We have Haunt.
League of its own?
No, a league of their own. With Gina Davis and Madonna.
Scariest movie ever.
I mean, imagine these women creating their own baseball league. What?
I know, it's crazy. What were they thinking?
No, that's a really good movie too, though. I like that movie.
It is, yeah.
But we're not talking about that one. We're talking about the number 1 movie, Haunt, from 2019.
Yes. Yes, this was your number 1 from last year as well.
Yes. Another fun movie, another slasher. Mm-hmm. Just the haunted house theme is something I guess I kind of like.
Yeah.
Like the haunted house attraction, not like a literal haunted house.
Yeah, the attraction itself.
Yeah. I feel like the villains, the killers were good just as killers, but then you see what they really look like, and it's pretty clever how they made them look. I thought there was there was a little more story than your typical slasher, with the main character and kind of her past and her current situation in life, and just really cool movie. I was really surprised.
They give us a lot of detail on these characters for something that the entire movie happens like in a 2-3 hour period.
Yeah.
Gives a lot of detail.
Yeah.
But it definitely was good. The way the kill scenes are pretty intense at times.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is pretty much a basic plot we've seen a million times, but it was just executed better than a lot of those types of movies.
Right.
So,
right.
It was definitely it was a good movie for sure.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about this before. I've been wanting to buy it, and I've been looking into it. I looked on Amazon and stuff, and you can't buy it. You can buy a digital copy, but you can't buy a physical copy now.
It's on Shudder, so you can watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure where you would find this movie. I don't know how they're like making money off of this movie if nobody can actually buy. I mean, you can buy it digitally, which I guess is what people are doing these days. But it's also fun to buy the actual hard copy as well.
Yeah, I want the physical copy. I want to see the cover of it and display it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's an incredible cover.
It is a pretty cool cover. Yeah. I do like that. Pretty incredible.
All right, so let's talk about some of the other movies that didn't quite make the list that we still want to mention for one reason or the other.
Yes, some of our honorable mentions list. We do have 5 each. Mine is going to be Child's Play from last year.
All right.
Didn't quite make my list of top 10, but it's definitely one that I wanted to mention. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know it's one of those movies that hardcore fans of Child's Play are either going to love it or they're going to hate it.
Yeah.
And that's been a pretty divisive movie
Right.
of last year. And I just think it's really good. It's a different feel than what we grew up with, Child's Play, the original Child's Play movies. There's more heart to it, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because the original Chucky has the spirit of an actual human being, and this Child's Play is a literal robot doll that's malfunctioning. And there's more heart in this doll than there was in the original Chucky, which is just strange to say.
Yeah, I hadn't looked at it that way. You say he's a robot, and compared to an actual person.
Actual person.
Yeah.
There's moments that you actually feel bad for Chucky.
Yeah.
And again, you shouldn't, even if he wasn't killing people, he's still just a robot. He doesn't have any feelings. So, it's like, why are we feeling bad for something that doesn't even feel itself?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. They did a really good job with it, though.
Yeah. I thought it was both funny and heart-wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
And it still had really cool kills, too. Some of the best of last year.
Yeah, definitely some of the best of the entire Child's Play series, for sure. And of last year as well. Yeah, that's one of them on mine. The other one is going to be The Last Exorcism.
Nice.
Yes, that one came out when that came out, 2010, I think. And another one of those found footage movies that has a pretty crazy ending.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, it's definitely an ending that, the whole movie itself is just a very well made, put together movie, especially for a found footage. Those can go either way. But this one, isn't he a pastor?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's a pastor who doesn't really believe in what he's saying anymore.
Right.
And so he's just basically like, you can say whatever you want in church and they'll be like, hallelujah.
Yeah.
There's a couple moments where he actually does, and it's kind of funny. But
yeah. He reads off, or it's like a muffin recipe,
like a
or
recipe, yeah.
And he's just saying it all like he would as a pastor, and
big.
Yeah. And he's saying it as if he's in church, and he's doing this as his sermon, and the whole church is loving it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. And so he gets a call or a letter from someone about performing an exorcism, and so he goes because they pay pretty well. Again, he still doesn't believe what he's doing, and he sets up these contraptions during the exorcism to make it seem like it's an actual exorcism that he's performing.
Yeah.
And it turns out she's actually possessed.
Whoa.
And
Whoa.
There's more to it than that. There's way more to it than that. I'm not gonna give everything away.
Yeah, that was incredible that you said that.
It's an exorcism movie.
I know.
At some point. But no, there is definitely more to it than just that. I'm not gonna go into that part of it. So another one on my list is going to be Scream 4, which is your number 4 on your list. And it's definitely one of my favorites of the Scream franchise. Probably my third favorite, which doesn't sound like a lot considering there's only 4. But I enjoyed all of those movies.
Yeah.
A lot. Even Scream 3, which was my least favorite. It still had some enjoyable moments in it too.
Yeah.
So that was just it was just a good movie, and it came 10 or so years after Scream 3 did. So we were all in need of another Scream movie.
Yeah.
Another one on my list that came out just a couple years ago was Train to Busan, or Train to Busan.
Okay.
Which is a Korean or South Korean horror, like zombie movie.
You said North Korean?
And it's South Korean.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's South Korean.
Oh, are you sure it's not North Korea? It doesn't come from North Korea?
I'm pretty sure it's not North Korea. Yeah.
I don't think they're allowed to make
yeah.
movies over there.
They're probably not. At least if they do, we don't distribute them over here. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, Train to Busan is the majority of the movie takes place on a train.
Oh.
Hence the title, Train to Busan. But it's just a fast-paced. Just the zombies are all incredibly creepy looking, and they move really fast. And when they infect you, it's very quick. It's like within minutes that you're infected, and you become one of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a very fast-paced movie. It is there are subtitles, so if you're not used to that, then that's something to get used to. But that has never bothered me at all. So, and it's a zombie movie, so there's not like a whole lot of talking anyway.
Right.
So yeah, I would definitely check that one out as soon as possible. It's a really good one. It's on Netflix right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
They have a sequel coming out. It's supposed to be this year. I'm not sure if it got pushed back or not, but there should be a sequel to that coming out here soon, very soon. So.
Okay. Nice.
All right, and my last one is Creep.
Aha.
It's another one that was on your list.
Yeah.
And yeah, for found footage, it was definitely one of the creepier ones. The more realistic of the found footage movies. Yeah. For sure, because it's just basically about a guy.
Yeah.
He's just, recording a human being, basically. And everything that happens in this movie, a human being could do. So it was very realistic.
Yeah, pretty believable.
Which made it even creepier that this could have actually been found footage. Definitely wasn't real found footage, but it could have been. It was, one of those more realistic ones. So I thoroughly enjoyed it and can't wait for the third one when we hopefully eventually get that at some point. So.
Okay. Those were some great honorable mentions. Tremendous.
Thank you. Tremendous, yes. No, incredible is the word for
this
podcast.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Your amazing podcast.
So, I've got 5 as well. I've got The Conjuring. Okay. We already talked about that. Great, tremendous, incredible movie. We have Child's Play. Child's Play is also incredible. We talked about that one too.
We did.
And then a few that we haven't talked about. Devil from 2010.
Okay, yeah.
I like that one. I've seen it a few times, and I just feel like I like movies that take place in just one setting for the most part of the movie. Which this one does. It takes place in an elevator. And,
of all places, the smallest space you could possibly be in.
I think there's 4 people, 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 people involved in it. And it is a good movie.
Yeah,
it definitely has a M. Night ending to it.
Yeah.
Got a twist.
One of his better ones. I don't think he wrote or directed the movie itself. I think it was a story that he wrote.
Yeah, it was a story. He may have been involved in writing the movie itself, but it was definitely a story that he had written before. Yeah. He definitely didn't direct it. But.
No. And it's his stuff is kind of hit or miss, but this one was a hit for me.
Yeah, that was a good one for sure.
All right, and then we have a couple more. Creep 2 was also incredible.
Yes, gotta put 1 and 2 on your list.
Yeah. So I had 2 in my top 10, but I moved it to my honorables because I just wanted to have that, some difference there, some variety in the top 10. And, then I do want to mention Creep 2 because it's, if not just as good, it's very, very close to the first one, which was my number 3. So it's if you haven't seen either one, then you got to watch them both. Turn this off and put them on right now. So then
you can wait until after this podcast is over to do
no,
that. But
no. This is almost over. So
it is almost over.
Okay, and then my last one that I want to mention is VHS from 2012.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, very, very cool. Very low budget, obviously, and no name directors, no name actors did a really, really good job pulling off some scary anthology, short little 15-minute, 20-minute maybe segments. Basically, these people go into rob this house and find all these VHS tapes and all these TVs, and so the movie is those tapes. They put them in one by one and watch them. For some reason, I don't know why they're doing this, but they're...
I don't either. You're robbing a place. Why are you stopping to watch TV?
Yeah, I don't know. So they're watching
Pretty sure
this.
they explained it in
Yeah.
that movie, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe they did. They're looking for a specific tape. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think that's actually what it was.
Is that what it was?
Looking for something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've watched it, but it really opened the door for new directors.
Yeah.
Which I think was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And you can get 6-7 directors on these movies.
Right.
They only have 15-minute clips, 50-minute videos, and it can launch their career.
Yeah.
I think it did on one of them. At least one of the directors has done other stuff.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name was.
Yeah, I can't. Do you know what he's done? Because I can't remember.
I don't remember what he's done.
Yeah,
either.
I think it's something I've
know
seen recently. I feel like I can't think of what it is though.
But yeah, it was just a really well made, well done, and just a good concept for a movie.
Yeah.
To give these people a little bit of money and let them make this movie for, or I don't even know if they paid for it themselves.
Yeah, I don't know.
To be on this movie, and it did have a good sequel.
Yeah, the second one was pretty good.
The second one, the third one was not. I don't know what happened there, but I don't know if they just got too big of a budget. Because the thing that was cool about the first two was it felt low budget.
Yeah.
It felt like these were definitely there was no money put into it at all. But the third one, there was CGI and stuff, and just
yeah.
I don't know. It kind of took me out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't
one,
like the third one.
Yeah, but the first two were good for sure.
All right. So we kind of talked about this decade not being as incredible as the first decade of this century.
It's tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the first decade was tremendous. And this one was just incredible. So
yeah,
we'll see.
It's incredible.
Not as good. It's just incredible.
It still had some good movies come out of it.
Yeah.
So
no, it did.
Enough to do a top 10.
Yeah. It had some very, very standout movies that if had come out last decade, I'd still put them in a top 10. I'd probably have to remove some of the movies from last decade and put some of these in there if they all came out the same decade.
Yeah. So. But I'm glad they didn't come out in that decade because that would have been overload on that. I could have done a top 100 if that was the case. I could have done probably a top 25 for this decade.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I could have done a top 50 for the one before, but top 25 is good too.
Yeah.
I could have fit 10 more movies on my list.
Okay.
So.
All right. So that's the top 10 of the second decade here, and we'll see what the next one holds. Right now, we don't have very many movies to talk about, so
no, we don't.
Hopefully they start coming out.
The ones we do have not really been that good.
Yeah, so far not the best. All right, so that is it. This has been
But we
Scare
could
Talk.
at some point. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
You're closing it out. I was gonna say at some point we could also do like a top 10 of like the 90s and the 80s as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we will do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That will happen.
This will happen for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so look out for those as well. Oh, and find us on Facebook and on Twitter and on Anchor and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Listen to our stuff. We're over 300 plays now, and we want to get more. We want to get 3,000 plays. So
we want to be greedy.
yeah, give us all the plays. If you want, you can just let it run. Just play one of our episodes and just let it go all the way through. Even if you're not listening, just play them.
I mean, I hope you do listen, but
No, it doesn't matter. You don't have to listen. But we'd prefer if you did listen. That would be incredible if you could listen to us.
it would be
And
tremendously incredible.
send us a comment, a message, give us a thumbs down on something. I don't even care. Give us some sort of communication so we know what's
Don't
working.
tell them to give us a thumbs down. That's horrible.
We want to know what's working, what's not working.
You don't have to listen to us. Give us a thumbs down.
Yeah. So just communicate. We want to hear from you.
Yeah. We do.
You can
We
send
definitely
us an email. You can also send us some, fan mail if you want to write a letter. You can, I'm not
do.
going
We
to
don't
give
have
you.
an address or a PO box for that.
Yeah. But
So I don't.
maybe if
No,
you
but that would
message
go.
us, we'll give you our address.
We should create a PO box for this. I know a lot of YouTubers and stuff do. So
Yeah. Get some fan mail.
we could definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's the end of this one. Okay.
All right.
This has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the second decade of the 2000s bite you.